A girl makes a presentation in the deplorable conditions in which she lives, remembering her past. Yahaira is a demon girl who lived in the Dark Kingdom. She was the second most powerful person in the Dark Kingdom, so she did and set everything in her path. A person started an invasion to the castle where Yahaira lived, but this person does not pay attention to her and she goes straight to destroy the mana crystal, which was the source of power of all the monsters. Yahaira without her powers had fallen to the human world with a tiny body. Yahaira suffers from the small appearance of her living in absolute misery, but not everything is sadness since for a few hours she can return to her normal appearance, going to work as a waitress in a bar. Yahaira realizes that she is wasting her time and at that rate she will never be able to restore the Dark Realm, remembering her good times with her subordinates. Yahaira's boss goes to talk to her, showing that she cares about Yahaira, asking her to smile at work. Yahaira has no choice but to smile and make an effort to work. In her break, Yahaira cannot keep her form, becoming a small woman, being discovered by her boss. Yahaira decides to tell her the truth, that she is the second most powerful and that she is capable of causing disasters if she wants to. The boss thinks that she is joking, so she decides to attack and kill her to be her new boss. But the boss gives her a hug, understanding her loneliness and paying her salary for the month. The boss gives him some ingredients for her house. Yahaira is happy because she hasn't eaten something delicious for a long time. The next day, a girl is charging Yahaira the rent, but she becomes stubborn because she doesn't want to pay the month's rent. Yahaira says all kinds of excuses for not paying her rent, but the girl who collects the rent already knows all her lies. When she manages to escape from home, she runs through the streets, but her landlady who rents her house follows behind her. When Yahaira runs into her boss, the boss scolded the two for her bad behavior. Yahaira is forced to pay the rent, doing so reluctantly. Later, this demon girl can't find the small crystal fraction of hers, alluding that small crystal in human hands can cause disaster. She goes to her work in search of her crystal. Her boss had put it on her, but she hadn't hurt her, making sure that she hadn't hurt her boss. Yahaira has a way of finding crystals, having found some possible places where some crystals are found. While she was looking for the stones, a person manages to recognize her in the middle of the street, calling herself as Drufa, remembering that in the Dark Kingdom she treated her very badly. Drufa has a very good appearance, but Yahaira does not look good at all. She has no choice but to bluff, disguising herself as a poor and miserable girl, even if it is all a lie. Drufa invites her to drink coffee. The place seems very refined and expensive. Asking her for an expensive coffee, Yahaira only asks for water, bluffing that the queens take care of her feeding her. Drufa's dessert looks delicious, so she wants to give her a spoon. When she is about to taste hers, she takes the spoon out of her mouth, remembering that she shouldn't touch her food. Drufa inside her limousine says that she is surprised to see her, wanting to drop her off at her house, but Yahaira remembers that she lives in a poor place, so she just wants to get off her. She tells him that she wants to restore the Dark Realm and tells him that they will see each other in the future, although she was only pretending. Yahaira keeps looking for the crystal parts with the help of the other mana crystal, finding a tall building. While climbing, she meets Drufa again. She thinks she came for the crystals, but it was actually Drufa's house. Inside Drufa's house, the furniture is very comfortable for Yahaira, and the sight of her looks great. She even has a smart robot. Yahaira tells her not to be distracted by human inventions, which affects Drufa emotionally. She takes advantage of that moment to snatch Drufa's crystals from him, but her defense system locks her in a cage. She makes excuses to justify Yahaira. She knows that there is a mana crystal in the forest, so she decides to enter with the help of her mana crystal. With the passage of time, she gets lost in the forest. She doesn't worry, as with her mana crystal she could survive in the forest, until a crow steals her crystal. She chases after the crow, but food falls off of her. She realizes that she has nothing, but she is motivated to find the forest crystal to survive. Rain falling to her bad luck, The rain does not stop falling and Yahaira is hungry. When she wants to go down the mountain, she hurts her knee, thinking that it is the end of her. When she sees a little bird outside her nest and in the same conditions as her, she feels sorry for this animal and does not want the same thing to happen to her, climbing the tree to return it to her nest. When she puts it in the nest, she realizes that inside the nest is her mana crystal and another crystal, when she suddenly breaks the branch that was supporting it. The girl who rents her room meets Yahaira, helping her down from the tree and taking her home. Yahaira had managed to find her first mana crystal, but she had lost many things, such as her backpack and food. Yahaira is very happy because now she has a much larger mana crystal, boasting that she can do many things. Her boss has doubts about what she says. Yahaira is very confident and that she can work late. Her boss praises that this crystal is very helpful. She tells him that he can do whatever he wants. The boss asks him to clean the kitchen with the power of the crystal, complaining that the crystal is not for that. Yahaira tells her boss that she would like to restore the Dark Kingdom and that she is now more powerful, but she had run out of power from the crystal, lamenting about it. Yahaira meets with Drufa. She just wants to brag about her mana crystal. Drufa tells her that she has only been able to get very few crystals. Yahaira fusses over how she got the mana crystal from her. Drufa in her curiosity asks where she found such a crystal. Yahaira exaggerates things. She says that she fought a big and very powerful bird, but it was just a raven. She keeps bragging about things that didn't happen to her, but Drufa gets excited about her hearing her talk about her. Drufa thinks that what she is wearing Yahaira is just a fraction and that she is actually a fraction, but it was all she had. Drufa laments that she can't get crystals and shows him how little she has, taking a picture of a truck full of crystals. Yahaira can't take it anymore and she starts to cry. Outside of work, Yahaira meets Drufa, but she is embarrassed to tell her that she works as a waitress, so she decides to tell a lie. She says that she is the boss of this restaurant and that it has many branches throughout the country. Drufa tells him believe and want to enter the restaurant. She tells him that unfortunately she can't go in since it's closed, but Yahaira's boss just comes out. Yahaira does everything possible so that Drufa does not realize that she is the employee and continue pretending. Drufa enters the restaurant and asks for all kinds of food dishes and Yahaira decides to invite her as long as she continues to appear. Drufa says goodbye to Yahaira, hoping to see her again. Drufa doesn't care and asks her to come to her whenever she wants. When the boss gives Yahaira the expense account, she gets angry when she sees the total price. Despite everything, she is happy to see Drufa. A girl dressed as a man is envious of Yahaira. She remembers that in the past she couldn't beat her. Now that she is in this new world, she wants to defeat her. She knows that Yahaira is very weak, wanting to defeat and remain second in command. Her name is Sorva. While she walks through the city, she manages to meet her greatest enemy. Sorva has a potion to increase her powers and thus be able to defeat, but she drops the potion from her hands. Sorva wants to defeat her greatest enemy, but the potion that gave her more power had fallen on the floor. She wants to lick it off the floor, but a dog gets ahead of her. The dog grows larger. She orders him to go get Yahaira. The animal doesn't understand and ends up killing her. Sorva does not give up. She wants to discredit Yahaira's image, so she had developed a candy that transforms her into Yahaira. Later she transforms into Yahaira, though she doesn't like the clothes she wears. A person recognizes Yahaira. Sorva wants to use this moment to discredit Yahaira. She was the girl who collects his rent, but Sorva tells her that she has no money. The landlady ends up threatening her to pay the rent. Unlike Yahaira, she gives in easily and pays Yahaira's rent. Sorva was afraid of that woman. She is motivated so that the next time she discredits Yahaira. Yahaira's boss recognizes her and is surprised that she came to work early. Sorva disguised as Yahaira wants to cause damage to discredit Yahaira. But the boss forces her to work. Sorva decides to help out in the restaurant, providing better service than the original Yahaira. In her break she realizes that she improved Yahaira's reputation. The boss sees some concern on her face, so she offers her support. Sorva feels understood and hugs her. Yahaira had not gone to work because she fell asleep at home. Yahaira is broke and only has 306 yen left for a week. She doesn't want to starve, so she goes to the market to find a way to earn more money. But she ends up spending all her money on street food. She keeping only 6 yen. Later at work, she is very tired. Her boss asks her what's wrong. She ends up telling her that she only has 6 yen and she doesn't have money for her expenses. Her boss took pity on her and ended up advancing her salary. Yahaira cries with joy. Yahaira is completely used to working. Leaving her job, she meets a policeman. She decides to run away because days before she had already been detained and taken to the police station. She being helped out with the help of her boss and her landlady. The police capture Yahaira. She is very unhappy because she does not want her landlady to come and help her get out of it. This cop receives a report that a person with light hair, big buns, and calling herself a magical girl is lurking around suspiciously. Yahaira is scared. She thinks that she is the girl who destroyed the dark world. She wants to take revenge and say escape from the police station. She seems to meet the biggest enemy of hers, wanting to take revenge. When she is about to attack her, it turns out that he was a man disguised as a magical girl, making strange poses and sounds. The police ask him some questions, but this person says that she is a magical girl. Yahaira is at home. Someone had knocked on the door. It was her landlady, the person who rents her house. This woman was sick. She tells her that her sister is also sick and today the restaurant will not work. Yahaira makes fun of her for getting sick of something very silly. Later she starts to cough, thinking that she is poisoned. What she had was a cold. She wants to sleep so that when she wakes up she will be better, reflecting on her current life in the human realm, remembering her harmonious past. Being in the human world had affected her emotionally, wondering if she could actually restore the dark world, hoping someone would help her. The next day her boss had entered her house. She explains that she was worried about Yahaira, so she decided to enter her house with the extra key. The boss prepares a delicious meal for her, making Yahaira cry. The landlady had brought some medicine for Yahaira, mocking her for her terrible appearance. Her sisters decide to go to her house, giving her advice to take care of herself. Yahaira hears someone knocking on the door. When she opens it, she realizes that it is her biggest enemy, the magical girl. This woman fails to recognize Yahaira because she was looking small. She wants to attack her, but she is quickly knocked down. The magical girl wants Yahaira's mana crystal, being afraid of losing everything. The girl is about to take the mana crystal from her when she is saved by her landlady, calling the police. This girl is presented as a magical girl who defends justice. The police do not believe her, taking her away in the patrol. Yahaira says that she was not afraid, but after a while she begins to cry, being helped by her landlady, sleeping due to the accumulated fatigue of the day, dreaming that she defeats the magical girl.